What's up, everybody? It's Greg here, and I've been seeing a lot of comments on one of my older videos on my 2011 to 2015 Kx450 conversion, and I'm out here washing the bikes, and I just figure, you know, maybe I'll answer some of those questions and get more in-depth detail on how I did the conversion kit. Ouch. Come here. So going more into depth into my 2011 to 2012 to 2015 Kx450 pretty much facelift up conversion kit. I started with the rear end because I noticed back in 2012 the Pro Circuit Kawasaki team, they ran the 2012 Kx450 airbox, the rear plates, and the rear fender, and I thought it looked pretty cool, so for a while I ran that setup on my bike. It's pretty straightforward on the swap. You will need to upgrade to the 2012 to 2015 Kx450 airbox, obviously the side plates and the rear fender. You will also need to run the 2012 to 2015 seat, which I picked this up off eBay for like 80 bucks. I bought the airbox, I believe I bought it used on eBay for about 80 bucks as well. I had side plates and a rear fender, brand new. Also to note, I am using my 2011 Kx450 subframe, which still allowed everything to bolt up just fine. I don't know if adding a 2012 subframe would kind of level out the bike per se. It still has that 2011 like curve in it, as where you come up to the newer bikes, it's more flat towards the rear. I don't know if adding a 2012 subframe would fix that, but unless you were really looking at it, you wouldn't really know. And that would pretty much cover if you just wanted to do the rear conversion. It wasn't until at least a year or two later that I did a little bit of research and started looking into a front end conversion. Now, the front end, I've kept my 11 front plate and front fender, but the 11 conversion was a lot easier than I suspected it to be. I have heard and seen people say they can use their 2011 Kx450 gas tank, but after doing some research, I did find that the 2009 to 2000, I think it was 2012, the Acerbis desert tank, I found that that was the same part number, and it came with two bolt hole options to either mount up the 09 to 11 plastics or the 12 to 15 plastic. So, considering that desert tank could be bolted onto both the 11 and the newer 12 to 15 models, I figured why not try to get a 2012 tank and see if it bolts into my 2011 frame. As you saw in the first conversion video, I swapped over the tanks, fuel pump from the 11 swapped into the 2012 no problem, and once it was installed and I was able to bolt up the plastics, and for the most part everything bolted up. I had no issues bolting up anything. Like I said, I have heard people say you could do it with the 11, but for fitment issues, and I wanted to look as factory as possible, I went with the 12 tank, and it sat in there and bolted up just fine. For my exhaust on this bike, I'm running the 2012 to 2015 Pro Circuit T6 carbon tip. Now I'm only running the slip-on and the mid-pipe. Previously I was running a TI4, and I tried to use the head pipe off that 2011, but after riding for some time, I did notice that the 2011 header, the design is just slightly different, which doesn't allow it to sit far enough back into the mid pipe, which creates this little movement and exhaust leak. Plan to get that fixed soon. Also, another question I get asked a lot is, can you run a different style of front plate, like the newer plates, the newer front fender? And the answer is yes, you technically can, but I'm currently running my old 11 front plate and front fender. There are some differences on the bikes that are actually really easy to fix. So on the 11s, they have this little stub that sits into the triple clamp, And an easy fix for that is either you run the Seika stadium plate, or you can get yourself some 2012 to 2015 front triple clamps, and then you'll be able to bolt on, no problem, the factory front plate and front fender. You can see the differences from the 2011 style plates and the updated style plates. And just to give you guys a little visual on the difference between the two style plates, this is from the newer 12 to 15, I would say, and you can see that the mounting on the bottom are holes, whereas the 2011s have the stub sticking out the bottom, and that's the difference in mounting the triple clamps. Also noted that you don't have to go to this length, but way back when, I actually blew up my 2011 stock 450 motor, and it took a couple years, but we bought a 2012 motor, and this motor also fits in the 2011 frame without issue. This is a visual of what happened to the stock bottom end on my 2011 Kx450. So always take maintenance seriously on your bikes, guys. We do an oil change every 3 to 4 rides, filters every 3 to 4 rides. Gets pricey, but keep your bike happy in the long run. So that's pretty much gonna wrap it up, guys. I hope I covered mostly all your guys' questions. Yeah, it's a pretty simple swap. Everything kind of just bolts right over from the 2011 to the 2012. So something you can do in your garage, no problem. You just need a couple 8, 10s, and 12s, and I think that's all you need to wrap this thing up. And I think the end results come out with a beautiful looking bike, a slimmer feeling bike, and overall it's just a lot easier to ride when you don't feel like you've got 2 bulls between your legs riding. So it really takes away the boat feeling from this bike. Still a heavy bike, but there's some things you can do to lighten it up. But overall, I believe that this conversion kit or conversion process is worth it.